Hi, I'm what would happen if a bowling alley gained sentience, and welcome to Channel Whatever News Quarantine Edition. You might notice I've got a slightly new setup, a new couch, new table, and it's all thanks to my sponsor, the Kool-Aid Man. I'm just kidding, the couch is from my grandma's house and Kool-Aid won't sponsor me despite my many emails. It's finals week, my friends, and since I decided to become an artist instead of a biologist, sorry Mrs. Donaldson, I have been writing non-stop. I have actually written 55 pages of screenplays in the past 2 weeks, and I have 30 more to go this week. So I didn't really have a chance to write any new jokes for this. I would have recycled some jokes from my comedy class, but some of them weren't about very happy topics, and also my professor frowns on self-plagiarism, so with permission, I decided to plagiarize from someone else, my grandfather. So my comedic talent did not come from nowhere. My grandpa is also a writer and we have a very similar sense of humor, so I asked him to write some jokes for me for this week's episode. My family calls them paw jokes. I call them hilarious. So here we go. I know we're all under stress, but really, stocking up on hundreds of rolls of toilet paper? If you need even half that amount, you're going to be wiped out by diarrhea, no pun intended, long before COVID-19 gets to you. Personally, I'm all set in the toilet paper department. Yesterday I signed up for the daily delivery of the New York Times. One thing that's really disappointing to me though is the cancellation of the Summer Olympics. I feel so bad for all those athletes who worked so hard for so long just to have their hopes at medals dashed. Again, no pun intended. He intended the pun. I'm surprised there isn't more crime being reported during these lockdowns. I mean, there you are in a store, you've got your mask, your rubber gloves, there's nobody around. It's like a criminal's dream scenario. Of course, there are a few drawbacks. Imagine being the only car on the street while you're trying to make your getaway. Now that's a policeman's dream scenario. But let's say you get away with it. What are you gonna do with all that illicit money? There's no place to spend it. A great steak? Forget it. A night at the casino? I don't think so. Here's an idea. You can donate the cash to a local food bank and then eat there. Thank you so much to my grandpa for writing those jokes for me. I love you so much. So like I said before, I don't have a pre-written no bad vibes monologue like I did in the last episode, but thankfully some truly awesome people have volunteered to help me out and spread some good vibes.
Hello, my name is Meghan Dresdner. I am a student currently studying theater directing and acting, and I'm a longtime admirer of the host of this wonderful show. Some things that have made me smile recently have been Netflix. There's also been some really wonderful filmed, recorded versions of plays from all over the world, specifically ones from the acrobatic company The Seven Fingers, and also plays from the National Theater. Those have both been wonderful silver linings to this whole experience, is to see theater and live performances from all over the world. And also, I've been baking a lot. I recently made some pancakes, and if I do say so myself, they were beautiful. All that being said, it's not always so easy to stay happy in these times, and I think every time someone just gets out of bed or texts a friend or opens their window, they're being incredibly resilient. I wish you all the best.
Hello, my name is Colin McClure. I'm a second-year mechanical engineering student at RIT. During the coronavirus outbreak, I chose to design and build my own climbing wall from the ground up. It was designed in PTC Creo, which is a program that we frequently use in engineering. It's optimized for structural rigidity as well as ease of assembly and disassembly, being both construction and moving the entire structure. It disassembles into two main end frames as well as a main body frame and the kickboard plus two spreaders. It It is a lot of fun to climb on. I was able to meet all of my design goals. There is no flexing in the structure other than me on it.
Hello, my name is Emily Stein, and it's kind of hard to stay positive and happy during a pandemic like this, but it's extremely important to try your best to stay positive and happy. I have a hard time with it sometimes because, it gets cloudy, seasonal depression. It's just life. You still have to go to school, you still have to do chores, but you can make it fun. You can always make it a game and have some fun with it. I know what has been keeping me really, really happy is just being able to spend time with my family and getting to know each other better in this time than we ever have before. I feel a lot closer with my family now than I ever have, especially having to be stuck in the same house with them all the time. I love them dearly, and I love my pets and stuff, but we all still get on each other's nerves, and we all still need our own space. But I still love them dearly, and seeing them every day and knowing that we're all healthy right now is so happy and positive for me.
Hello, you asked us what makes us happy, so here are a few things that make me happy. So I am a fan of art. This is my art box, it makes me very happy. These are some of my stupid sketches, trying things. I'm actually proud of this one. I think it's pretty okay. Not great though. And then I have my bookshelf, which I love. There's more books over there, but you can't see them. And my beautiful plants. This is Vera, that is Hermia, and that is Bert. And that is a map of Paris, because I'd like to go there one day. So yes, glad to be here. Thank you.
So I have two live guests today. The first is my very good friend, though he's on thin ice now, and Dungeon Master Gage Wiley, here to talk about how to keep your Dungeons & Dragons game going in quarantine. So a lot of my relatives will be watching this video. Most of them don't know what D&D is. So could you explain to them a little bit what Dungeons & Dragons entails?
Gee, I sure wish I could. The essential premise of Dungeons & Dragons, as I explain it to people, keeping in mind that this is based off my one reading of the manual, and probably wrong, it's a game where there's someone called the Dungeon Master who sets the scene for all of the players. They create some sort of scenario with all of the characters that the players have created, and then through the Dungeon Master, those characters can interact with the world, usually through dice rolls or speaking as the character. They can speak to non-player characters or NPCs, characters that the Dungeon Master has created for them to interact with. They can fight things, they can adventure, they can find things, they can make bonds with NPCs, though ours normally don't.
So we do. We had the bear.
We did have the bear.
How has moving online changed, playing D&D at all?
Not a lot. It's actually made the setup process a little bit easier. Because before, when we were in real life, I had to convert my dorm room into a Dungeons and Dragons delivery facility. So I had my bed flipped to form a couch. I borrowed my roommate's beer pong table that had all kinds of garbage written on it that they had to hide from the RDs whenever they came by. So that stuff is kind of gone. Setting the Zoom meetings real quick. Most of the change is just, it's a lot more script based now, because I can't set a vibe as easily with my physicality as as you're wont to do whenever you're in a space with people. Silences are a lot more prescient whenever you're with people. So I feel like I have to have more scripted content. I have to work harder to keep things moving and keep things interesting, because there's that divide of being over the internet. But other than that, it's pretty similar. There's not a whole lot of D&D that necessitates being in person. I have to trust that you're being truthful about your dice rolls, which I imagine you are, because we all roll like garbage. But other than that, it's a pretty similar procedure. It's going pretty smooth, I think. I hope.
I think so. I really enjoyed this last campaign.
That's
Not just because I got to be a pirate captain.
I'm also hoping I don't DM for a little while because I'm very excited about being a player.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, because like the way this ended up happening was like I'd always wanted to play D&D. I'd listen to like podcasts where they played, all my friends played, but by the time I found out they played, they were already deep into campaigns. They already had their full groups. So after like so long of just waiting to be invited to something, like just decided screw it. I don't really need to feel like I have the experience. It would be nice, but just get some friends together and have fun. And I'm hoping that's like what we ended up doing. I'm hoping people have fun, because like every rule in D&D is made to be thrown out. It's made to be like turned into just a tool to have fun.
Are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Oh, yes.
What's your favorite campaign that you've DM'd?
The cowboy one. What was it called? Buffoons and Saloons and Buffoons.
That was a good one.
That was a one shot, and it was so good. And I want to do more one shots, but I like longer campaigns too.
What's one future campaign you hope to do? I know we have a whole list, but like
Renaissance Fair.
Good one.
I have a doc of like just ideas that I've had in the middle of the night that at some point I'm going to compile into a cohesive campaign. Maybe after autumns, maybe I'll go back and do like, I've really wanted to do a campaign that's just straight up and down D&D and just random events. So like you set a scenario and I have a random table, I roll die, and then we just go with it and we just see where that leads. It's going to be an absolute train wreck, but I think for a single session it could be so fun.
It would be awful. Like
it would be terrible.
We would not do well with that.
It'd be great for me because I have to do no prep.
It would be fun. What's your favorite and least favorite thing a player has ever done?
So your favorite things are always, of course, when like the players do something unexpected. They use like the environment in a creative way. Like you utilized a horse to get on a train in a way that I wasn't. I had just put the horses there. I was expecting you to like maybe like cut their horses loose just to screw with them. But you got on the horse and you hopped on a train. Kimberly turned an octopus into a rat, and then consequently also turned one of our players into a rat for a prolonged amount of time. So it's all those like the idea of D&D is what's the word? Whenever something like develops naturally, like the situations that develop, the situations that come out of like people being involved in the text and being like creative. So those are always fun things when you feel like they're like interacting with the environment and being smart and fun about it.
Okay, for the other part of that, I'm going to say the least favorite thing they've done or I've done in terms of like your storyline, like what made it hard for you to continue your story.
See, you're not a very game-breaking bunch. Either this group or the last group, you're really not. It's no like big, you don't make a ton of like big decisions like, hey, the town's that way. Oh, I'm going to walk that way. You don't do a lot, and you're welcome to. That would be fun. That would be a good time to bring out my freaking random tables and do the random session. It's really just little moment-to-moment things. Like, it's not even something that I dislike. It's just like deviating from the story I had planned, which is what D&D is about. It's like I plan like a big like cathartic moment, but now the captain's on the ship and now it doesn't really work, and now Patchy's on that ship, and a lot of that is me too. A lot of that is like me trying to play the NPCs and them also screwing with the campaign because I don't control them either.
I mean, except you do.
Yeah, but not well. But it's moment to moment things. It's just things that break up, like keep it from being like a clean narrative and like having big like triumphant moments or that kind of things, like very scripted good moments, which is screw all of that. It's fun if it happens, but if not, we still, it's because it's not my story, it's all of our story that we're making collaboratively, and you guys should have just as much input as I do.
That was a good answer. Very diplomatic.
I am running for president.
I'd vote for you.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, that's all the questions I have. Thank you for being here.
Not a problem. Thank you for interviewing me. and making me famous. I hope
I'll be
it
sending
goes
you your royalty checks
Oh,
soon.
thanks. I don't know what I'll do without those $12. I can buy the United States with that.
Good.
Good. If I'm president, I'll sell it to me for $12 and then not pay.
All right. Good talk.
Thanks. You too. I hope the show comes out well. I hope this fits in
you.
there.
Yeah.
I think you're doing a good thing and we're proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I'm proud of you too.
Bye. I love you.
Bye. I love you. As some of you may know, I wrote and directed a film this semester. Here to talk about her role on the film is my very best friend and collaborator, Erika Martin. Hi, Erika.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good.
Is it a little warmer there today?
Yeah,
Outside.
I'm less sad right now.
That's good. So can you talk a little bit about what your several roles on my film were?
I did most of the movie because I am incredibly talented. I was in charge of designing the costumes and getting all of the pieces together and assembling those. I was in charge of the set design. I did some artwork for the movie. I did some sound work as well. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
You also helped with the script. You helped me workshop it, which I'm very thankful for. It was a mess before you read it. Out of your many roles on the film, which one did you prefer? Like, what was your favorite to do?
I feel like probably the costume design. It's not something that I've done before, but it was a lot of fun.
It looked fantastic. I'm very excited for everyone to see it. For the costumes, what was the process of finding those like and putting them together? And were there any like obstacles you had to work around? Because I know we have limited resources.
I had like no budget, so I think probably like more than half of it was just things that I owned, and then everything else was just like whatever we could find at the costume department, which I think we only had like 3 things that we borrowed from the costume department, and everything else was either my clothes or yours.
Or the orange jumpsuit, which I am not claiming responsibility for.
I'm considering that your clothing.
So what were your responsibilities actually on set, both as the production design department and helping out Gage with his job?
So I basically just like set up for like in one of the scenes I hung up lights in the background and I helped set the table, and in the scenes in the apartment I like basically just like cleaned up and made everything look nice. I didn't have to do too much because it was already an apartment.
Yeah.
And then when I was doing the sound work, I just held the display for him. It was very easy. Also, I did the Instagram page, so I was taking pictures on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did that. That's another role you had, was our marketing manager, essentially. So you did costumes and pre-production, you did set design and sound on set, and then after production wrapped, you did all the art for the montage scene that we have, as well as the end credits. What has the process of that been like?
It's been a lot of work, probably more work than I was expecting it to be, but it's been fun. I'm still working on the credits, probably like a little over halfway done, I'd say. But yeah, it's been fun.
That's all I have for you for now. So thank you for volunteering to be here.
Thanks for having me on.
And thanks for all your work on my film.
Before I send you back out to the real world or back to your 17th rewatch of Friends, here's some really good news to brighten your day. This is a great time for baby animals, apparently. A healthy baby elephant was born at the Reed Park Zoo in Arizona, and the pandas at the Ocean Park Zoo in Hong Kong mated for the first time in 13 years. Speaking of adorable animals, a couple created a mini art gallery for their pet gerbils, Pandoro and Tiramisu. The exhibit included such artworks as the Mousa Lisa and the Squeak. The Lego factory has begun making thousands of protective face masks for medical workers, and they will be sending 500,000 free brick sets to children in need during quarantine. Good things are happening in the world, and there are definitely reasons to smile. I promise there will be more jokes in my next episode, but for now, stay safe, stay home, and stay strong. I'm a vaguely queer Harry Potter, and this is Channel Whatever News.